to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania. This is WNEP 16, the news station. Now, from the area's largest television news organization. This is Newswatch 16 Weekend.
Good evening, I'm Susan Jelig. Jim Rennick has the night off. The proposed merger of Scranton Tech and Scranton Central High Schools was discussed on Newswatch 16's Viewpoint program today. In answer to a question about taxes, Scranton School Superintendent Dr. Peter Fling said if a new building is put up, it'll raise the average homeowner's annual tax bill by about $21. If an old school building is renovated, it'll raise taxes by about $25. The Director of Secondary Education said the merger would provide a wider source of programs.
Who are unable to get certain courses, certain programs, by choosing one or the other school. And the issue has become clouded a bit, and that's why we're involved in this study.
The idea for a merger was first proposed 3 years ago. Newswatch 16's Kathy Bellis talked to some students and teachers in Scranton to find out their feelings on the merger issue.
More than 100 people showed up for the second public hearing on the Scranton Central Scranton Tech merger issue. All of the students here are from Central High School. They say they don't like the idea of a merger. They're here to figure out where school board members stand because it'll be up to the school board to make the decision.
I'm getting an education. I'll prepare me for college, and I feel that if we're merged, then it'll sort of bring down the education level that I'm getting.
I think Scranton Central is just fine the way it is, and I feel that changing something that seems to be working would be rather ludicrous at this point.
That's not how some teachers at Technical High School feel. They say a Central Tech merger would benefit all students.
We just feel that we need a better mix of students at Technical High School. We are being segregated at this point, and they do not get a good education in a segregated society.
All of the courses they would have for Central could stay as this. It's just that they would have more students.
School board members tell me a decision on this heated issue could come before the end of the summer. Kathy Bellis, Newswatch 16, Scranton.
Get out your charge cards because this is the week to buy. The stories as Newswatch 16 Weekend continues.
A team of professionals can make anyone look great. If these guys don't follow you home, that's where I need Chemline. They're pros, not just kids on a summer job. They'll take the time and the care to do the job right. They'll go that extra yard to guarantee a thicker, greener, more weed-free lawn, or your money back.
That's not Mr. Duffino.
That's why I'm the groundskeeper.
Chemline, we go that extra yard, guaranteed.
I can tell. You can't fool me.
We challenged Eileen Richet of these piles of cottons, each done in a different liquid fabric softener, which was done in hers.
They all feel very soft, but this is my fabric softener because it's white.
Oh, I was right. I was right.
Final touch. When I see white and bright things on my children, I think, all right, kiddo, you've got it.
Only Final Touch gives you a soft, whiter wash.
To get them this white, Final touch.
If you're planning to do any shopping, this is the week to do it. In case you haven't heard, this is National Consumer Week. And I guess you can say these shoppers at a grocery store in Dunmore were doing their part this afternoon to observe National Consumer Week. Actually, the week has been set aside to make consumers more aware of what they're buying and to beware of possible rip-offs. Coming up next, meteorologist Paul Hefner. No rip-off in the weather, I hope.
Wow, what a day it was today. And not quite as sunny as yesterday.
No,
but temperature-wise, yeah, about the same. Looking real good. But would you believe I have some snow flurry activity in the Weather Watch forecast?
No.
After a day like today, it's hard to believe. I know it really is.
I don't believe it.
April's known to be a month of a lot of changes. We'll talk about those changes in just a moment. You're watching Newswatch 16 Weekend on WNEP TV. And we're proud to serve Audenried and all of Carbon County.
When you're looking at lawn and garden equipment, you've got to start where Simplicity does, at the bottom. Simplicity machines have tough, solid steel frames, not tubular, heavy-duty wheel bearings, and a rugged transmission. And they all have a pivoting front axle with an axle-mounted mower that floats up and down and pivots to match perfectly the contours of your lawn.
Listen, anyone can give you a fancy paint job. Just remember where the work gets done. For real quality where it counts, there's no substitute for simplicity.
Recent medical evidence has shown that your family's risk of heart disease can be reduced by lowering their serum cholesterol levels.
I'm one step ahead of you.
One way to do that is by eating foods low in saturated fat and cholesterol.
Gee, hope that's not full of saturated fat.
Sure it's not. It's promise. See? Made with sunflower oil, no cholesterol, low in saturated fat.
So get heart smart. Choose foods
Like Promise.
like Promise Spread. Get heart smart. Include Promise in your dietary plan.
Boy, talk about changeable weather. It was so nice this weekend, and now that Paul Hefner's talking about snow. Snow, Paul.
Snow. Well, typically, Susan, during the month of April, we get about 2 or 3 inches of snow here in the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton region. So it's not unusual to get it, but it's almost like a slap in the face when you get it after a 70-degree day like what we had today. Right now, the skies are turning overcast. Let's check in with the weather watchers. I do feel a couple of sprinkles out here right now. And Charles Swigart from Liverpool in Juniata County reports 68 degrees last hour. That's a pretty nice temperature. Over in Slatington, which is in Lehigh County, it's 67 degrees. So says Harold Green. And Ryan and Kyle Razor from Milford and Pike County report cloudy skies and 64. The backyard temperature right now in the 60s, 67 degrees. The relative humidity is 38%. We're looking at a southerly wind at 13 miles per hour, and the barometer's at 29.76 inches. Falling. Today's high, 71, beautiful, 11 degrees, warmer than normal. The low temperature last night was 45 degrees. The record high, 91. The record low is 22. Indeed, we'll be getting a few April showers for those flowers, I'd say starting tonight and tomorrow, but a few snowflakes on them by Tuesday. Let's check out some of the April rainfall so far. Now, southwestern Pennsylvania has not had all that much rain, but not too bad either. 1.1 inches of rain so far in Pittsburgh, Altoona 2.2. But look at this. Last week's storm really dumped on the eastern counties. Looking at some very wet conditions from Williamsport through Allentown and Philadelphia. 3.8 inches so far in both Williamsport and Allentown. Philadelphia's had 4.5 inches of rain this month. Indeed, very, very wet. Here in the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton region up through Binghamton, the amounts are pretty close to normal, 2.1 in Avoca and 2.6 up in Binghamton. Satellite picture shows the nice weather that we had this morning. Now up through New England, we have the clouds moving in, low pressures on our doorstep. Very weak front over by Buffalo, but that front really won't make it in here. Temperatures do drop into the 50s behind it with some scattered showers. It's this front here that we have to be concerned about because there's some awfully cold air behind it, and that will come sweeping in. Looking at some more showers and thunderstorms from Mississippi down through Texas, baseball-sized hail out that way. You can see that the rain is now penetrating portions of western Pennsylvania. Not quite in here yet, but everything is moving to the east, so do be assured it will be in before the night is over. A couple of moderate amounts up there by Buffalo and over through Cleveland. A couple breaks in the action. Our wider view of radar shows the stuff moving into western Pennsylvania, but still a lot of other showers being reported up through Detroit. There's a moderate one out there. Over through Lexington, Kentucky, back out through St. Louis, even further to the west out through portions of Kansas. So indeed, we will be in for a wet spell starting tonight and going right through tomorrow. These showers will be on and off, so not a all-day rain tomorrow, but indeed, keep your umbrellas handy because it will be wet. Tomorrow, looking at the cold front to come sweeping through the state late in the afternoon and get set for the big change on Tuesday, because we'll be about 15 to 20 degrees colder on Tuesday than tomorrow. This rain should be changing to snow across the northern counties of Pennsylvania on Tuesday. Snow flurries, perhaps some accumulation, maybe an inch in some of the higher terrain. That's kind of rude for the month of April, 25 degrees. But that's the kind of air that's coming in. Won't be quite so cold here, but readings will indeed be in the 40s. Some nice weather across Texas setting in. Temperatures in the 80s, lots of sunshine. For tonight, mild and wet. Rain moving in from west to east. Abington 52, Leroy 50 degrees, Lansford 52. That's Tillis Keg, if you've ever been out there in Northumberland County 51. And Lewistown should be 52 degrees. The wind will be blowing in from the south at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's your sunrise and sunset times coming in. 5:16 tomorrow morning for the sunrise, and sunset will be at, well, it's gone. I think it's about 6:45 at night. Showers, 52 degrees tonight. On and off rain for tomorrow. Temperatures will be mild, up around 60, I would say, during the midday period, then cooling off into the 50s again during the afternoon. And that front comes across tomorrow night, a big drop in temperature, looking for a low near 40. And then as some more like cold air plows in on Tuesday, cloudy skies, scattered snow flurries, maybe mixed with rain down across some of the southern portions of our viewing area. 44 degrees, that's it for a high temperature on Tuesday. Despite sunshine on Wednesday, it'll be cold, 49 for the high temperature. And then on Thursday, sunny, warmer, 57. So, Susan, looks like we've got some very chilly air moving in.
Okay, we'll have to get out the warm sweaters again.
Don't put them away. It's still April.
Thanks, Paul. Coming up, John Evans on the Sports Watch has some reasons for celebrating in New York and some mixed emotions for Philadelphia fans. The Sports Watch is next.
Wrap a bowl with Reynolds plastic wrap, and an unusual thing happens. It clings. If Reynolds plastic wrap clings tight enough to keep this fruit outside, imagine how fresh it'll keep your food inside. Reynolds plastic wrap clings tight to keep food fresh no matter what. Now that's not fair.
The Sports Watch is next with John Evans. Tell us about those mixed emotions in Philadelphia.
Mixed emotions in Philadelphia. You know, evidently the Mets got pretty ticked off that the Phillies took 2 of 3 at the vet last week. And today the broom was out at Shea as the Mets just pounded on the Phillies. Thus ends the bold, optimistic talking I've been doing for the last couple of weeks. The Mets already up 1-0 in the first inning. Danny Heath adds 3 more with a drive that just clears the fence in right field. 4-0 Mets after 1 inning. In the fourth, Keith Hernandez will hit one to center field. That will be just out of the reach of Gary Maddox. He tries for it, just can't get it. Backman scores, and it's 5-0 Mets. In the sixth, the bleeding continued. Darryl Strawberry singles home Backman again to make it 7-0. Then Gary Carter doubles to the right field corner. Strawberry comes around to make it 8-0. That was the final. Mets all over the Phillies today. National League scoreboard, Mets 8, Phillies 0. Montreal hands the Cardinals their second loss of the year, 2-0. Exposed. Pittsburgh and the Cubs tied 8-8 after 10 innings. L.A. over Atlanta, 7-3. Houston over Cincinnati, 6-4, and San Francisco over San Diego. You know, the Giants are leading the Western Division. That one's in the 7th inning. The Yankees today in Milwaukee trying to break a 4-game losing streak and keep first place in the American League East. The Yankees scored first in the 3rd inning. Ricky Henderson with a number to the side of the mound. Tim Leary gets it, but can't get Henderson. Paliarulo scores, and it's 1-0 Yankees. In the 5th inning, Ken Griffey makes it 2-0 with a high homer to right just inside the fair pole, and the Yankees are up 2. Still in the 5th, Bobby Meacham doubles off Robideau's glove to right field. Weininger scores, and it's 3-0. The Brewers got one back. Jim Gantner with a solo homer to right off Joe Niekro, and the Yankees led 3-1. The Yankees got what they thought was some insurance in the 7th inning. Randolph with the blooper to left. Henderson will score, and it's 4-1 Yankees. But the Brewers got 2 in the 8th, then 1 more on this Ernest Lyle single with 2 out in the 9th to tie it at 4. In the 10th inning, though, the Yankees got the game winner. Mike Easler grounds one to Giannis first. He throws to clear, trying to cover. He bobbles it. Dave Winfield was on second. He breaks for the plate, scores ahead of the throw. 5-4 Yankees. That was the final in 10 innings. Check the scoreboard. Yanks 5-4 and 10. Cleveland, Detroit postponed. Probably the best thing that happened to the Tigers in the last week. More scores. Baltimore over Texas 6-1. Boston over Chicago 6-2 this afternoon. KC over Toronto 6-4 in the 9th. California beat Minnesota 8-5. And one other score for you. Oakland over Seattle 4-1 in the 4th. NBA playoffs this afternoon. The Sixers in a must-win situation. Down 1-0 at home to the Washington Bullets. The Bullets on top early. Manute Bol with the slam, 15-14. They led by 4 after a period, but Mo Cheeks got hot for the Sixers. He nailed the jumper right here to cut the lead to 2. Then Charles Barkley made his first point of the game count. This tied the game at 30 all. Jeff Malone then hit 6 in a row to give the Bullets a lead at 41-35. Nice jumper. But behind Barkley, the Sixers came back to tie it at 49. Nice power jam right there at halftime. In the second half, the Bullets led by 4 after 3. Bol does his Abdul-Jabbar imitation right there. But the Sixers battle back to tie it at 96. Barkley follows the miss on the offensive board for 2. With 41 seconds left, Trudeo 3 buries the three-pointer. That was the winner. The Sixers by 5. Check out the scoreboard in the NBA. Philadelphia over Washington, series tied at 1 game apiece. Boston and Chicago, what a game this one was in overtime. Michael Jordan had 63 points for the Bulls, but the Celtics pulled it out, 135-131. Portland over Denver this afternoon. That one's in the 4th quarter, 85-82. Final round today of the Sea Pines Heritage Classic from Hilton Head, South Carolina. All the activity happened on the 18th green. Roger Maltby at 7 under for birdie on 18. He's the co-leader, and it does not go in. He stays at 7 under par. Greg Norman on 18 at 7 under. He goes for the birdie. He's at 7 under par. Another co-leader. On 18, Chip Beck at 6 under par. He's going for a birdie for 7 under. Yes, he's tied with the other two guys. But then the other co-leader, Fuzzy Zeller, came to 18. He's 7 under for the birdie and the win. And watch it. Yes, and it counts. Fuzzy Zeller wins by a stroke over 3 players, wins $81,000 to boot. It surprised me, it surprised a lot of people, that Larry Holmes lost a split decision to Michael Spinks for the IBF heavyweight title last night. Holmes came out the aggressor, won the early rounds, but Spinks became the aggressor in the later rounds, and that's what gave him the win. Holmes stunned Spinks a couple of times, but he just didn't have enough to put the champ away. He said after the fight that this is it. He's not going to fight anymore. He didn't show up for the post-fight news conference, but Spinks did.
I knew Larry was come out in the early round. I expected him to fly as fast as he did. I had to break his morale, stand calm, cool and collected, and let him know that it did me a thing. That as soon as I felt that he was very fun, I was going to come on and kick up and put that.
All fun, well, one way or another, but Spinks, the only guy to beat Larry Holmes, he did it twice. He's still the champion. Back at 11 o'clock, NHL playoff highlights tonight, along with the NBA and all other baseball stuff, too.
I guess we've seen the last of Holmes in the ring.
Well, he said that before, but I think this is really the one that's going to finish him off.
Okay, thanks, Don. Still ahead, Newswatch 16's Mike Stevens will give us a look at his diary of fine dining. We'll read the record of Mike's many meals when we come back.
Cayumbo. Colombo fruit yogurt is so yummy. They ought to call it Cayumbo. Colombo is made the old-fashioned, all-natural way. It's delicious. It's Cayumbo.
Colombo uses fresh milk and real fruit, not sugary preserves.
Cayumbo.
Colombo fruit yogurt. Smooth.
It's creamy. It's yummy. It's Cayumbo.
First, there was tea. It was good, except for the caffeine. And herbal tea tasted like herbal tea. And decaffeinated teas were good if chemicals didn't flatten the flavor. Now Salada has a tea that's caffeine reduced. Naturally, all you taste is real tea. Salada tea, and nothing else. Salada, naturally caffeine reduced.
That's a lot of tea.
Naturally.
Finally tonight, Newswatch 16's Mike Stevens says he's come up with a surefire way to remember all the good times he's had at the table. Here's Mike's diary of fine dining.
A belt, no matter what anyone says, is not just a belt. Nope. To me, each of the little crinks in the leather, each of the little holes filled for a while by the belt buckle before it moves onward to the next, represents great moments in dining history. Here, for example, was November of not too long ago. Lots of birthdays in my house in November, lots of cake and ice cream. Here was a Christmas party at a friend's house. They had some sort of flaming banana thing and lots of little crackers with stuff on them. I had to sample everything. Lately, I've noticed, though, that my belt has begun to pick up speed. Here's a lasagna-covered Super Bowl party. Here, a restaurant outside of Lewisburg. And here, a blueberry pie in Sullivan County, until finally I find that there are no more holes. Too bad. Looks like another diary of legendary lunches and super suppers is about to be closed. Maybe not. Maybe there's still a few more pages to be written. Steve, my bookmarker, please. I do so hate to leave a book half finished, don't you? I'm Mike Stevens. Have a nice evening.
There isn't much room left. And that's Newswatch 16 weekend for now. Be sure to join us tonight on the Update 11, where we'll show you the big birthday dash they picked up for a 102-year-old baker in Nanticoke today. For the weekend team, including Jim Rennick, was the night off. Thanks for joining us, and have a good evening.